The Department of Health or DOH declares a national dengue epidemic Tuesday, August 6 as cases continue to rise in the country. The DOH declared a national dengue alert in July, but the status was raised to epidemic to level up the response against the viral disease. The health department says 622 people died of dengue as of July 20. These deaths came from the 146,062 dengue cases from January to July, 98% higher than the recorded incidence during the same period last year. Western Visayas had the highest number of cases, followed by Calabarzon, Zamboanga Peninsula, Northern Mindanao, and Soxargen. President Rodrigo Duterte says he cannot declare martial law in Negros Island at the moment. Presidential spokesman Salvador Panelo says Duterte believes the situation there does not yet call for a declaration.
I asked him last night about Negros and sinabi niya, you and I are lawyers, we know that we cannot just impose martial law unless the requirements are there. Under the Constitution, kailangan may rebellion. So sa ngayon patayan pa lang na unbridled patayan pa lang nangyayari.
But Duterte can still invoke other emergency powers such as deploying more military troops to Negros. Panelo adds Duterte plans to finally invoke the historic 2016 Hague ruling against China's claim to the West Philippine Sea during his trip to China this August. Panelo says Duterte will bring up the recent ramming of a Chinese boat into a Filipino fishing boat in Recto Bank last June and the proposed joint oil and gas exploration with China. Duterte says it is time to invoke the international ruling because he is, quote, nearing the end of his term. Duterte also agrees to end the implementation of Philippine government policy not to stamp Philippine visas on Chinese passports. The policy has been implemented for the last 7 years in protest of the image of the 9-dash line featured on Chinese passports. The Metro Manila Development Authority or MMDA says the planned dry run of the controversial provincial bus ban along EDSA will proceed as scheduled Wednesday, August 7. This is despite a Quezon City Court's preliminary injunction against the policy last July 31, saying it expects far-reaching effects. The MMDA says it will push through with a dry run because it hasn't received a copy of the order. The MMDA previously says the dry run is only voluntary, so bus operators may join as they wish. The ban aims to close down all 47 provincial bus terminals along EDSA. Provincial buses would also be prohibited from loading and unloading passengers along EDSA. The Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA says inflation in July settles at 2.4%, lower than the 2.7% recorded in June. National statistician Dennis Mapa says the downtrend is primarily brought by the slower annual rate posted in the index of food and non-alcoholic beverages. Also contributing to the downtrend are slower price increases for housing, water, electricity, gas, and transport. Inflation is the rate of increase in the prices of goods and has remained within the desirable range for the 6th straight month. Actress Julia Barretto defends herself in a controversy that paints her as the third party in the breakup of fellow actors Gerald Anderson and Bea Alonzo. Posting on Instagram, Julia addresses Bea saying, "Your heartbreak should have been a private matter, but you have selfishly turned it into something of national concern. You can play victim all you want, but I refuse to be your victim." She also clarifies she didn't cheat on her ex-boyfriend, Joshua Garcia. She also disassociates herself from Bea and Gerald's breakup, saying Gerald clarified a third party was not the cause of his split with Bea. Gerald in an interview said that his relationship with Bea was, quote, no longer healthy and that you're just hurting each other and that you don't want it anymore. Rumors started when Bea made several cryptic posts alluding to betrayal and hurt. In a chance interview, Bea said Gerald just stopped speaking to her. Around the same time Bea made those posts, an anonymous Instagram user posted photos of Gerald and Julia, insinuating a relationship between the two. Bea, Gerald, Julia, and Joshua are all talents of ABS-CBN.